My lords, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to Transport Fever 2 as we continue our adventures and our exploits in Canada, more specifically in Alberta and British Columbia. In the previous episode of this series, we'd set up the Alberta Regional Railway, which connected out towards Black Diamond and Longview. Obviously, as you can see right here, we are sat outside the station we constructed for Black Diamond, and we have a few passengers waiting, and in the background there we can see one of the buses ferrying some of the passengers away from the station and into the town of Black Diamond itself. If you just scroll out and have a larger look at the map here, we can see we have expanded quite nicely over towards this region of Alberta, connecting up to as far as Nanton. The only town we don't have yet connected is Vulcan, but we can tend to that a little bit later on. What I think I'm going to do today is we have this brickwork factory here just in Longview, and we also have a quarry up here in the edge of the Rocky Mountains, and I think it'd be a good idea to get some of this stone shipped down into this brickworks at Longview, because as we can see there are a few towns nearby which do require bricks. There's Black Diamond, Okotoks and High River, so it would be sensible for us to start supplying them with the needed bricks. That's going to obviously help some town growth, which is going to create more passengers to hopefully use our network that we've set up. Now the question is, how do we want to get the bricks down here? We could run a train down here, and to facilitate that, what we could do is this station here, we could add a second track with a cargo platform, so we have a place to drop off the stone that gets delivered. At the minute there is no direct connection to this construction materials plant here, as we can see it's not highlighted. However, that will be easy enough to remedy. All we have to do is if we run a road just like so, and then run it along the side of the plant there, we can see now we have that valid connection. So what we can do next is, as I said, just customize our station here, and we'll run it out a little bit longer that way, and then we want the cargo platforms along here. This now functions as a dual purpose station, passengers and cargo, and all we need to do now is very simply extend this line out from the station, and we'll keep it flat just like that. We'll put a connection into, oh, we have catenary. Well, that's new. Yes, we will keep the catenary because we're going to have to upgrade our lines at some point anyway, but I never knew that was unlocked. Well, there you go. But yes, we'll connect in like that, a simple connection. We could do the same this way if we wanted to, but we can leave that for the time being, because what we want to focus on is getting this line up into this hilly region up here. As we can see, it is quite elevated and the terrain is very uneven, so it's not going to be the simplest task in the world. As we can also see, the area around the quarry is also very uneven, so it's going to cost us a small fortune to build the station. Do we want... No, we'll have a pass-through station because there is a lumberyard up here which we may want to make use of, and we could also run some of this coal down through this way if we ever needed to, although I don't think the coal is required over this part of the map, but we could have it all linked in. But for the time being, yes, as I said, we'll go for a pass-through station, perhaps somewhere like that should do. And then if we use the country roads now, we can connect the station and we can connect it down to the road there, and that should, yes it does reach to the quarry, so we have that connection there, which is great. Just rename this Longview Exchange to Longview Quarry. There we go. Now it's just a case of taking this line here, bringing it down, and we want to connect it in here. So let's just take a quick look here how we're going to do that. As we said, the terrain isn't the most conducive to track laying out here, but I think we'll be okay. We have plenty of room I should say, to work with. We also have the new iron bridges which run at 75 miles per hour, so at some point we are going to want to replace the stone bridges that we have on our map currently with these new style higher speed bridges, but that can wait. At the moment none of our trains are touching 75 miles an hour. And looking at this, we can just go straight down towards Longview from here. Although we probably want to give ourselves a little bit of a wider arc just there. Just because we have to now curve inwards, and we don't want to limit the speed on the tracks if we can avoid it. There we go, that's looking better. 75 miles an hour all the way through. Still think we might be a bit tight here. Yes, we dropped down to 54. However, at this point, the trains will either be leaving the station or heading into the station, so they should be slowing down anyway. So I think that's an acceptable speed, to be fair. It's not going to cause us too many issues on our lines. And then what we'll do, we'll put a few passing loops in, because we're probably going to have a couple of trains running down here. But we're not going to dual track the entire length here. We're just going to have, as I said, a couple of passing loops from time to time, just to give them somewhere to move out of the way and pass one another. Okay, there we go. Nothing too fancy. And then we want one-way signals on the start and end of these passing loops here, just to guide and marshal our trains through correctly. It also serves to add a block or two to the line as well, so they don't have to wait around too long at the station to start departing. And there we go. I'm just going to also, while I have the idea in my head, put a passing loop down here. Again, we're not going to double track the entire distance, but we'll do a fair proportion of it. Just like that, and go back to the signals again, get the signals put in place, and that's just going to avoid the trains waiting for one another on the station platforms and busying those up unnecessarily. I think once again we can have another double track just down here. Again, not the entire way, just enough to allow the trains to start moving and to get round one another. And we'll just put a quick block in the middle. There we go. Okay, so that should do for now. Right, so we have a train depot over here. That does have connectivity over to Longview, so the train that we purchased to run this line could be purchased from that depot over there. But first of all, we want to set up the line itself, so we're going from Longview Quarry into Longview. We want to be fully loaded with a maximum wait time of 60 seconds. Here you are not loading anything, you're just going to run back empty, there's nothing you could load anyway. And we'll set you to the same colour as the stone icon. And we'll name the line Stone Freight Longview, and then we can purchase 2 trains. There we are. So in terms of our trains, they are tackling a fair gradient up there, so I think we'll go big and go for the 442 Atlantic. And we'll use our new high capacity gondolas for this. And I think we'll go for 96 capacity. We want 2 of those. That's going to cost us 14 million. So if we head back over here so we can actually see the line, we can get them assigned. There you go. Now, they're not going to have any production yet because there's... Oh no, they will start seeing production. I tell a lie. But what we can do already is start planning where we want to ship the bricks out. Now, given the fairly short distances, I do believe we can get away with using road vehicles for the brick haulage into Black Diamond, Okotoks and High River. As I said, they're not covering the greatest distance in the world, so the truck should be more than viable for this. So what we'll do, we'll put a direct connection into High River like that. We already have one to Okotoks and we have one to Black Diamond. All we need to do now is put on some drop-off points in each of the towns. Okay, so High River can be dropped off just there. Okotoks can be dropped off there. And in Black Diamond, the drop-off can be... We'll put it there, so it's not going to interfere with our bus routes there, which is obviously quite important. Now, we will need a truck station for this. And we're going to need at least 3 platforms. Obviously, 1 to High River, 1 to Okotoks, and 1 to Black Diamond. So we'll go 2 and 1. We'll go for the full 30 meters. And I believe we could squeeze it in here. Just get it parallel with the train line there, looks okay. And we'll just call this Longview Freight Yard. And then we can set up a line to haul the bricks from Longview Freight Yard into the 3 towns. So first of all is Black Diamond. Fully loaded, and we have a 30-second with our road vehicles. There we go. And we'll do the second line now into Okotoks. Again, coloured red, fully loaded, 30 seconds. And we will specify as well that you're only loading bricks here. We'll do the same for this line as well. Just in case, on the off chance they try and load some of the stone, that gets dropped off. I don't think they would. But why give them the opportunity? So again, same setup, full 30 seconds, red colour, loading bricks only. There we go. Now we can rename these from line 1, line 2 and line 3. So let's do that now. There we go. So now we can get the trucks purchased for these delivery lines. So we want cargo. These do handle bricks, as we can see here. So we'll go for the flatbeds. And I think we'll go for 15. That gives us 5 per line. So they all want to be coloured red. And then we'll set the first 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yes. They are going to Black Diamond. The second 5 will go to High River. And then the final 5 will go to Okotoks. Excellent. So as we can see, we've started to have some stone production up at the quarry. Obviously that needs to wait for the trains to arrive. They should be making their way over in the near future. And then we'll start seeing bricks production here once the stone starts arriving. And that'll give these trucks something to actually haul. Obviously for the first few runs they're likely to be empty while the trains make their way over here. But that shouldn't take too long. Let's just see if we can spot one on the way yet. No, they're both still in the depot, so nothing has left yet. But what we can do to encourage them to head outwards is we can put a one-way signal there. That will bring the first train forward. That way, as soon as this platform is clear, he's able to leave straight away. And he shouldn't get tied up with the other passenger trains that are coming into here that may take priority if they're a little bit closer. As we can see, he's on his way out now. Now, one thing you can probably tell is we have a lot of passenger generation for our Calgary Dart. We also have a lot on the Alberta Regional Railway, which is obviously a good thing, but it does mean we might need some more trains running on this line. As we can see, each station has over 100 passengers waiting already. And if we just see how many trains we only have the one at the moment. So let's go ahead and clone that a few times. So of course we want to at least have 2 running this line. And I think we may get away with 3. There we go. Again, they're going to have to take a while to come out of this depot because it is quite busy getting through this platform at the station. But over time they will make their way out. And they'll start running the line for us. And they'll start eating into that large build-up of passengers that we're currently seeing on the Alberta Regional Rail line. Given that we've got quite a few now running on this line, I believe it is prudent to put a few extra passing loops in as well, just like so. And I believe we'll put one here between Southwest Calgary and Paradis. Just anything we can do to keep things flowing a little bit more smoothly. There we go. And given the length of this one, we could even put in a second block. And we'll put the signals just before the level crossing there, just so the trains don't overhang onto the level crossing and block our block our residents, that's what I mean, from travelling between the cities. Okay, just having a quick scan of the map down here, see if there's any other industries around here we could connect to. We do have some production industries. Obviously got quite a few oil wells out here. We also have a farm. However, I think we are quite covered for food with this one from Cochrane and the one over in Irikana, so I don't think we need to worry about hooking the farm to the network. What we may want to consider doing though is having a little shuttle service out to Vulcan. We haven't touched Vulcan yet, and the more we have on our network the better. So I think we'll go ahead and do that. And over here we can have a passenger terminus station. There is nowhere else for the train to go from this point onwards, so we'll make use of the terminus option. There we go. And we just want to connect this in up here. I believe one of these platforms is going spare. Indeed it is. So what we'll do is just on this corner here, we'll take a branch line off of the line. We'll keep it flat, and that should give us a decent looking junction. Yes, it does. There we go. And just do the same this way as well. Because it's parallel with the first track that we laid down, we know we're going to have a decent junction there, so I don't need to worry about that. And then this line will just go straight over to Vulcan. Given that this is only a commuter stroke shuttle service, we can have it single tracked from here on out like that. And then we'll connect it in. We do have a bit of a tunnel there, but that's okay. And I think we are only going to really need one train to run this line. We're not going to need much more than that, let's be honest. It's only going to be a small shuttle service. We'll put a few signals in there just to protect the junction somewhat. And then we can set up this line. However, I'm just thinking where we would draw the passenger train from. We could use this one again, but we already have quite a lot of build up over here, as the trains are waiting to pass the platform. So it's probably a little prudent if we go ahead and use this depot here. Now, it does mean it has to travel a fair distance, but it should have connectivity. And once it gets onto the line, there is plenty of passing loops for it to pass the other train, so it should arrive here a little bit faster, if anything. But for now, we need to set up the line for this. So this will be the Nanton Vulcan shuttle. Sorry. Let's keep with the theme. And also spell it correctly as well. And you can have a green colour out here. Where have you gone? There you go. Yes, we'll use green for this line. Now we can head all the way back over here. Purchase the passenger train. Only needs something small. In fact, I think the mogul will be more than enough for this for the time being. And just a 2-carriage train should suffice. So we'll colour it to green, and if we head straight back over towards Nanton and Vulcan, we should be able to see the line here. And we don't have any issues in connectivity or in the train reaching out here, so that's fine. Right, we are going to need, or probably going to need, a bus service out here as well, because at the moment we don't have full connectivity from the station into the town. So we'll just do that. What we're also going to do now is put a road in just there. And that will allow the buses to loop around this way. So let's set this up. and then back to Birch Street, and then obviously you're going back to Cedar Street, which is where the station is located. We'll name it Bus Service Vulcan 01 to fit in with our naming theme for this map. And you can have yellow. Now let's get ourselves a depot out here to purchase the buses. And we'll set it out of town, somewhere like that. And we'll go for, I think, 5 buses for this line. And there we go. So now we've brought Vulcan into the network as well, which is great. What we may also want to do is have a quick link between Nanton, perhaps High River, and then over into Longview, just to have these 3 cities connected. Otherwise, as it stands at the moment, anyone from Nanton wanting to go to Longview will have to go all the way into Calgary and get the other line all the way out. And it just makes sense if we have a more direct service for them to give them the option and availability. So we'll do that now. So what we're going to want to do here, just figuring this out in my mind, just trying to picture how this will work best. Now I think for something a little bit different, even if it's not the most efficient, is I'm thinking we do something like this. Have a little siding sort of platform here, which obviously connects into the line and then loops off towards Okotoks and then down into High River and Nanton. Or we could loop it straight into High River, whichever is going to be easiest. We'll check when we start laying the tracks. We don't have to commit to anything just yet. So we'll bring this in like so. Connect it there. And then immediately have it branch off to the right. Now I think we're going to be better off going towards Okotoks. Where is the station in Okotoks? Okay, it's over there. Okay, maybe not. Maybe we'll go straight to High River. And I think what we'll do is we'll bring it in over like so. Just tackle that gradient a little bit easier than with a bridge. Okay, so far so good. And then from here, just connect like so. We'll make that into a double slip switch. And once again, we'll probably just do a little... Oh no, we're passing through High River, aren't we? And going all the way into Nanton, that's right. Okay, so let's configure this station and put an extra track. And we'll put it along here. That activates the left-hand side of this platform as we're looking at it. So that means we can then bring this in like so. And if we bring it in before the diamond, it means it's got full connectivity. And then we want to do something similar out here. And again, if we bring it in, hopefully, before the diamond on either side, we don't have to worry about slip switches because we can get across on the diamond. So we'll just do that. Get the track. Put it in there like that, and then the same on this side. Might be a bit tighter, but we can squeeze it in, so no concerns there. And then from here, obviously the trains will just then take this branch line over into Longview. Now again, cost the length, it's probably prudent to go ahead and put a passing loop or two in here as well. And once again, we're not going to double track the entire length of this track. Just enough so the trains can get clear of one another and they're not holding anything up on the main lines. And I even think that should do us. In fact, we'll put another one just here. Just so they're not, as I said, holding anything up over here. There we go. Let's get these all signalled up correctly. We want one-way signals there and there. In fact, I'm going to say we'll put a block in here as well. The trains aren't going to be the longest, so they could be able to squeeze a block in there. We'll do the same here as well, although this passing loop is a little bigger, so it's more conducive to a midpoint block. And then we have the last passing loop here. And there. And again, quite long, so we can have a natural midpoint block in there. Okay, that should have full connectivity, and we can test this by trying to create the line now. So from Nanton, platform 3, I believe it's going to be number 3 on this side, I might be wrong, we'll find out. Into High River, and then into Longview. So you use the correct platform there, which is great. We'll have this a purple colour. Let's just check using the correct platforms in High River. No, you're not. So this will be platform, okay, that's platform 3 there. And then over here, okay, it was platform number 1 at Nanton. There we go. And then obviously after Longview, we want to make sure you do stop at Nanton on your way back. Sorry, at High River on your way back. So we'll do that. And again, go to platform 3 there. There we go. And it just gives them that extra option if they were heading, as I said, from Nanton over to Longview or Black Diamond. They're not having to go all the way into Calgary now to get there. They've got a more direct service. We haven't named that line yet, so we'll do that now. So it's not going to be line 1. This will be Intercity. I wouldn't really say shuttle, because shuttle to me is a point-to-point connection, whereas this has that intermediary stop at High River. We'll go for shuttle anyway. And we'll Longview to Nanton. And then we'll just have to try and remember in future that there is that stop over in High River. Right. Let's get the train, and again we'll use this depot out here. I believe this will have connection over there. We'll find out in a moment. And we'll go for something a little bigger than the Mogul. We'll go for the 10-wheeler for this one. And we want passenger cars, and again we'll stick to 2, and we'll have 2 locomotives on this one. Colour them the same colour as the line they're about to run. As I said, hopefully we can reach it from over there. I think we should be able to. Yeah, no problem. Not a problem. Now, I did notice while I was setting all of that up, one of our... Yep, here it is. One of our stone trains had arrived. And as we can see, the second one is currently waiting to get onto the platform or pass through the platform on the way to the quarry. Now, fortunately, at the moment, that's not holding anything up on the regional rail line, which is good. But obviously, we do want to get him clear through this platform as soon as we can. Now, obviously, he won't get clearance until this train clears these junctions over here. But looking behind, we don't have anything approaching yet, so time is not of the essence at the moment, so that's fine. I'm just now going to, as always, just do a little bit of terrain smoothing where we've laid our tracks, just to blend it all into the background a little neater. And there we go. We also had the track around Vulcan and this track here as well, although this one was relatively flat, so it's not going to need too much smoothing to get it to sit in nicely. Okay, and finally this track out towards Vulcan. There we go. Okay, so as we can see, our Calgary line is still using the passenger car with the clear story. I believe it's probably a good idea to replace those wagons, those coaches, with the 6-axle passenger car. They have higher capacity, so I think we'll do those. As we can see, that bumps the capacity up to 60, so we can fit an extra 12 people on board. It also increases the max speed to 62 miles per hour. And in terms of our acceleration, it is a little bit slower, as we can see. However, I think that's an acceptable trade-off for the increased overall top speed and the increased carry capacity as well. There we go. Now we want to make sure they are coloured yellow. And we can take a look at our new 6-axle passenger cars on the Calgary main line. Looking rather splendid. Now we do have some slow bridges over here on our passenger lines. Obviously we do now have the more modern high-speed bridges available, which run at 75 miles an hour. So I think it's probably a decent idea to replace those bridges with the newly unlocked high-speed bridges while we're here. There we go. That keeps that speed up as high as we possibly can. Where else do we have the rail bridges? We may as well swap these out as well, just while we're thinking about it. Obviously, I know we have quite a few bridges on the Rocky Mountain rail line as well, which will need doing, but we'll probably save them for a future episode. Don't want to spend the whole time just redrawing the bridges. Where else? Yes, we have one here, and there's no train currently sat on it, and we must remember there is a passing or a junction on this bridge as well. So when we rebuild the bridge, we need to include that little junction there. There we go. I think that will do for the time being. I can do the others off camera, I think, rather than doing everything on camera. It's only bridge replacement. At some point as well, I'll probably want to upgrade our tracks to electrified rail. As it stands, we don't have any electric trains unlocked. However, given the fact we've unlocked catenary, I can only imagine it's not going to be in the too distant future when we do have electrified trains available as well. And as soon as we get them, we are going to want to see them in service on the network. I'm not going to completely do away with the steam trains. Obviously, they are quite iconic and nice to look at, and they have a very distinctive and appealing silhouette and profile. So keeping some steam trains on the map, even if not indefinitely, but for the time being, is something we want to obviously consider and bear in mind. But I think for the time being, this is a decent enough place to end this episode for today. As always, I hope you have enjoyed the episode, and if you have, go ahead and leave a like down below. As always with this series, if you would like to have a train named, or you have any suggestions for any train names, it doesn't have to be your own name, it could be something completely unique and different. It's absolutely fine. I will obviously bear it in mind anyway. But yes, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll do my best to get them incorporated onto the series for you. And if you are new here or a returning viewer who hasn't yet subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well. It helps the channel when it comes to YouTube's number crunching algorithms, so it's always a helpful thing to do. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, all that remains for me to say is, as always, take very good care of yourselves. Ta-ta for now.